Don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud. Shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express.
Celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7. I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. I'm so sure you're going to love Rev 7 that for a limited time you can try our 3-pack absolutely free. Or check out our Percale bed sheets. I can't believe I'm even going to say this. Every color, every style, every size, only $29.88. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12-packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free. And our Percale bed sheets, all sizes, only $29.88, even the queens and kings. Inventory is extremely limited, so order now.
That's right. Order now, guys. Welcome back. Show number 2 today. Thank you for tuning in to the Oreo Express. Josh here. I hope you're having a fabulous Wednesday, September 24th. We got a lot to talk about, some updates, and the way some folks are spinning. It's just like the Charlie Kirk assassination. We don't know what the motive was. Wow. Also got some comments by Trump. He also talks about he's still pretty pissed off about yesterday. He thinks he was sabotaged at the United Nations. We're going to get into that tweet. We also have some video from Katie Daviscourt where Antifa tried to siege a federal building yesterday. There was some arrests. We got some video of that. Let's see, what else was there? There's just all kind of goodies and baddies, if you know what I mean. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. Let me jump in the comments really quick. Hunter's in the house. Pixie says round 2. Sugar Bear's in here. Becky Boo. Rob Wallace. Shelly Rose. Susan K. Spencer. Rob Wallace. Let's see. Trina. Old Uncle Bill, what's up? Darla Miller. B. Mikey with that beautiful American flag. Micro Taz. Let's see who else is in here. KLM 79. Let's go down to the bottom here, see what we got. Jan Garner. Jay keeps asking. Volan Bama. And Cade, Texas, rolling along, listening. D. Souter, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you all. We're going to get into it. So I said this a moment ago. The White House issued this. It says, I'm sending out a copy of this letter to the Secretary General, and I demand an immediate investigation. No wonder the United Nations hasn't been able to do the job that they were put in existence to do. And if you guys know, yesterday, we didn't do a whole lot of coverage of it. I think we might have mentioned 2 videos where he said he's doing a great job and their countries are going to hell when he spoke at the United Nations. The escalator was broke when him and the First Lady got on it. They were on it for maybe a couple seconds and it just stopped, which is when you think of all the assassination attempts and everything going on, you don't want an issue like that for the President of the United States. It could be very dangerous. Teleprompter was broken, didn't work for him, and the mic was low. So let me read this. It says a real disgrace took place at the United Nations yesterday. Not one, not two, but three very sinister events. First, the escalator going up to the main speaking floor came to a screeching halt. It stopped at a dime. It's amazing that Melania and I didn't fall forward on the sharp edges of these steel steps, face first. It was only that we were each holding the handrail tightly, or it would have been a disaster. This was absolutely sabotage, as noted by a day's earlier post in the London Times that said UN workers joked about turning off an escalator, said the people that did it should be arrested. Then, as I stood before a television crowd of millions of people all over the world, an important leader in the hall, my teleprompter didn't work. It was stone cold dark. I immediately thought to myself, wow, first the escalator event and now a bad teleprompter. What kind of place is this? I then proceeded to make a speech without a teleprompter, which kicked in about 15 minutes later. The good news is the speech has gotten fantastic reviews. Maybe they appreciated the fact that very few people could have done what I did. And third, after making the speech, I was told that the sound was completely off in the auditorium where the speech was made. That world leaders, unless they use interpreter earpieces, could not hear a thing. The first person I saw at the conclusion of the speech was Melania, who was sitting right up front. I said, "How did I do?" And she said, "I couldn't hear a word you said." This wasn't a coincidence. This was a triple sabotage at the UN. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. I'm sending a copy of this letter to the Secretary General, and I demand an immediate investigation. No wonder the United Nations hasn't been able to do the job that they were put in existence to do. All security tapes at the escalator should be saved, especially the emergency stop button. The Secret Service is involved. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Now, I don't know about you. A lot of times I say I don't believe in coincidences. It looks like he has a case here of, well, first of all, I would love, and I think a lot of people, the United Nations is absolutely worthless. I would love to get out of the United Nations. Maybe this is the step in the right direction. But we're going to be following this up because, as you know, Trump won't let this slide. I can't wait to see what the outcome is. And again, as he stated, that escalator came to an abrupt stop. Him and Melania were holding on to the guardrails, thank God. And then what they say, the London Times even reported that London workers, or UN workers, were joking about stopping the escalator. Not a good look for the UN. Not a good look for the UN. Check this out. This was absolutely awesome. JD Vance was given a speech today. I listened to some of it while I was at the gym. One part I caught was this right here, and I just loved it.
Name? Henry. It's good to meet you, Henry. Ask your question, please.
He said he skipped school today and he would like to have a picture with JD Vance.
Come up here. Henry said, I skipped school. Can I have a picture with you? Well, I guess you got to have some excuse to skip school, so I might as well get a photo with Henry. Well, all right. Okay.
That was kind of some heartwarming stuff I wanted to see today. I'm telling you, with all the negativity and all the bad going on, that was really cool. kudos to Henry for asking that question and getting a yes from the VP of the United States, JD Vance. Pretty cool. Another, I guess you could say, a positive thing coming from a negative thing is you guys remember when Big Balls was assaulted? I'm sorry. The reason why I laugh when I say that is all the times MSNBC and CNN had to say big balls during the Doge thing. It says teen pleads guilty to the attempted carjacking and assault of Dodge staffer Edward Korenstein. And that's AKA Big Balls. He pleaded guilty to 4 counts split between 2 incidents: felony assault and robbery near the gas station, and attempted robbery and simple assault for the attack on Big Balls. With that being said, DC, I don't know if it went to law first, but I didn't even know this. As many times I went to DC, they just voted to end, was it last week? They voted on being tougher on, because if you're 23 years old and you commit a felony, you can be tried as a juvenile. And so they changed that now, and they gave stiffer punishments to the juveniles that are actually 16, 17 years old, because there was never no accountability. So we're going to follow up on that one. I think we'll have some idea probably next week what that sentencing will be for that person. And in a world, the crazy stuff that goes on, in a world where we have a lot of violence, a lot of sick and evil people, 27 Democrats in Colorado, in the House of Colorado, voted against making indecent exposures to minors a Class 6 felony. So you're an adult, you do indecent exposure to a minor. Democrats voted against making that a Class 6 felony. And you can already know which group they were protected. Can we say alphabet cult? Democrats said the bill targeted drag shows and the transgender community. It was simple why Trump won. And I really think it's going to be simple why Republicans win in 2026. I mean, we don't want this, but please, you need to cover this. You need to share stuff like this out. Take a listen to this. Oh, if it'll let me, I'll have to refresh. Man, I gave the computer a break over the weekend while we were gone, and it was great yesterday, and today it's just not that great. Slowing down again.
These types of laws have been used to ban drag shows, to target individuals who use the restroom of the sex that they identify with, a public restroom, to charge them with felony charges. I am very concerned about the attacks against the transgender community that are happening across the country. When I initially read this bill, it did not even come to mind, for me either, as an advocate. But as I've looked at the bills and as I've talked to my colleagues who are fighting these types of bills across the country, it's very clear to me that the language is very much mirrored in some of the laws that have been used to target members of our community.
You know, it's never about the children that are victims of the indecent exposure when it comes to Democrats. Never once. They worry about their alphabet community. It's just like when a murder happens and it's an illegal alien. We forget about it overnight. If it's committed by the illegal alien. I don't know what else to tell people other than elections do have consequences. And I get it. Colorado has just destroyed itself. But think about this. This is HB 23-1135. And this is a penalty for indecent exposure in view of minors. It's crazy. It's like the whole Democrat Party has now become Groomer Wiener, Scott Wiener. And it's just unfortunate. Speaking of fortunate, I got 2 videos on this one. This one's a wider video that you can see what's going on here. Welcome to Gavin Newsom's California, guys. You can't make this up. This is a jewelry store heist. 25 people. Look at that. Take a look at that. Got away with over $1 million worth of jewelry. ABC reported, let me turn that off. ABC reported nearly 25 suspects were involved in the ransacking of Heller Jewelers at City Center Bishop Ranch in San Ramon, California. The group made out with about $1 million worth of goods. It says a new drone program assisted police in capturing the 6 getaway cars, many of which had been reported stolen. And it says, quote, police have recovered 2 guns and some jewelry left behind at the scene. How do you recover jewelry that never went missing? How about the $1 million of jewelry that those punks ran off with? I just think that's crazy reporting. Police have recovered 2 guns and some jewelry left behind at the scene. You're not if I go in and break into your house, and I'm still into TVs and I leave one, police isn't recovering that one that I left behind. We need to recover the TVs I stole. But once again, California, they're trying to make it look like Gavin Newsom is doing something. I'll show you this video.
Security guard must press a button to let people out. Police credit a 2020. It was a Monday afternoon when San Ramon police say nearly 25 suspects, at least 3 armed with guns, stormed Heller Jewelers at City Center Bishop Ranch. Cell phone video shows the suspects locked inside of the store, at least one firing a shot to break the glass door open. Police tell ABC 7 News this was a security measure put in place after the store was robbed 2 years ago. Now, a security guard must press a button to let people out. Police credit a 2023 grant for organized retail theft with helping them respond quickly. A newly acquired drone captured the suspects trying to flee. 6 getaway cars were waiting about 100 feet away in the valet area. San Ramon police were able to quickly arrest 7 of the nearly 24 involved. All 7 are from Oakland, ranging in age from 17 to 31, and are believed to be connected to similar crimes across the Bay Area.
7 of the 25, ages 17 to 31, all based out of Oakland. Well, good thing Oakland defunded their police and they have justice reform so these people don't do much time when they're busted in Oakland. I seen that and I was like, man, I'll be honest. I got to watch what I say. Now, that's a lot of people. I'm going to say this. If you're like a small store owner, we've seen before in the past, just recently, owners pulling out their gun, their concealed carry gun, and shooting at these folks. And I support that. Again, I believe you should be able, like Texas, to defend property. Just like you're defending life. But 25 of them, I'm sure many of them had guns. You probably wouldn't make it out. Smart thing to do is to let them go. I was even surprised they didn't just open the door. They had that button lock that they installed a few years ago after a previous robbery here in California. But don't worry, guys. Crime is down. Microtaz says, that's where I grew up. Microtaz grew up in the hood. That's actually not a bad area. It's a nice area. Those folks came from a bad Democrat-controlled area. I thought another good one here. Check this out. We've seen Dr. Ben Carson this weekend at Charlie Kirk's funeral. I love Ben Carson. I wish he was a little bit more faster and a little bit more louder. He's always so soft toned, and he just talks very mellow. And I got ADD. I'm like, speed it up, sir, speed it up. But listen to this. This is great news.
Exactly. Well, I'll just do a couple of top lines because we made a big announcement. Dr. Carson's joining this administration, President Trump's vision on making America. Just swore in a couple hours ago. Dr. Carson's going to be our National Nutrition Advisor. So as we continue the work.
National Nutrition Advisor helping Trump's promise to make America healthy again.
To make America healthy again. Intersection of agriculture and HHS with Secretary Kennedy. As we were talking, we partnered together for a long time, last administration and even before, it really occurred to us that there's no greater American who has lived the American dream in just such a remarkable way than Ben Carson. So for me personally, it's a really banner day, an exciting day. I know for President Trump, it certainly is, but I think the people who will benefit the most and perhaps be the most excited when they understand what this means are the American people, but especially maybe our most vulnerable in America, as you're going to fight for the right food, nutrition, etc. for that population.
Well, so many people who are in the lower socioeconomic groups.
So that's some good news. Well, I didn't see that coming. But this is Dr. Carson is joining the administration for Trump's vision of making America healthy again. National Nutrition Advisor. That's good because we need some help there. If you remember that food pyramid, you eat that food pyramid of what we've been recommended for so long, you're going to turn out looking like the tank division of Antifa. And we got one of those on the show today. Some more good news. Turning Point USA has seen an unprecedented surge in interest, with total inquiries rising from 60,000 to more than 120,000 since Charlie Kirk's assassination, according to spokesman Andrew Colvett. We are on the cusp of having a TPUSA, or Club America chapter, in every high school and college campus in America. We can't let this slide by. Mark says, I left California decades ago. No regrets. Yes. Oregon is almost as bad. I think they are. At least Portland is. I mean, sorry, I got to get my wallet out of my pocket because it bugs me sitting on it. You know, it's like I said, people always ask me when I'm trying, how can you live in that state? Luckily, I live in a beautiful area. I live in a pretty conservative area. We got one person on the city council. I mean, we got a couple moderates, but one that's just extremely against conservatism, has lost her touch with the community and what Clovis is. It's the only reason I stay here. It's a beautiful area. I told you guys, man, when I was traveling and I was gone for months and I was looking in Tennessee, I was calling Rachel. I was like, what do you think about Tennessee? And all she asked, do they have tornadoes? I was like, all right, well, we can dodge tornadoes and all these other things. And then when I'm about 20 miles away from home, I make that turn on the 168. And I just see the Sierras back there with the snow-capped mountains and know that, hey, if I want to go to the snow, I'm going to go hang out and camp in the mountains. It's an hour away. If I want to go to the beach, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes away. I mean, just a centralized location. And again, as of right now, it's a really good city to live in. There's a few of these cities in California. So let's go talk about what we covered this morning. If you guys missed the show this morning, we talked about the sniper that shot and killed was targeting an ICE facility. He was up on a roof. He shot, pretty much just shot, going after ICE agents, and shot the actual detainees, the folks that were going to get processed and deported, killing 2 of them and injuring another one. We covered this morning that they found some bullets next to the body. This person ended up shooting themselves. On the ground next to him was I think 5 bullets. One of them had anti-ICE written on it. And Trump came out with this. I have been briefed on the deadly shooting at the ICE field office in Dallas, Texas. It has now been revealed that the deranged shooter wrote anti-ICE on his shell casing. This is despicable. The brave men and women of ICE are just trying to do their jobs and remove the worst of the worst criminals out of our country. But they are facing an unprecedented increase in threats, violence, and attack by deranged radical leftists. This violence is a result of radical left Democrats constantly demonizing law enforcement, calling for ICE to be demolished, and comparing ICE officers to Nazis. The continuing violence from radical left terrorists in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination must be stopped. ICE officers and other brave members of law enforcement are under grave threat. We have already declared Antifa a terrorist organization and will be signing an executive order next week to dismantle these domestic terrorism networks. I am calling on all Democrats to stop this rhetoric against ICE and America's law enforcement right now. The Trump administration is fully committed to backing law enforcement, strong borders, securing our homeland, deporting violent illegal criminals, and fully rooting out the left-wing domestic terrorism that is terrorizing our country. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So it looks like if we look here, one of the key things I picked up is all the stuff we say all the time, and that he will be signing an executive order to dismantle the domestic terrorism networks. I don't know what that means, if that means funding, freezing bank accounts of these radical groups. I think we'll obviously know. It's Wednesday right now, so we have 2 more days. And you know, we obviously know that this person was a typical leftist Democrat. We covered that on the first show. Communist. There's his mom was a absolute libtard sister as well, and we haven't gotten much more information, but we did get the typical leftist you can't media, just and they suggest the ICE shooter was being funny by writing anti-ICE on bullets. Anything to distract from the fact that MSNBC, CNN, Ian Omar, all these people, Adam Schiff, Gavin Newsom, are responsible. They have blood on their hands because of the rhetoric of calling these people Nazis, Gestapos. We played you a whole line of 5 or 6 of them. And we're also, I think we have one again from Ian Omar that we covered yesterday. We talked about it again this morning. She has now deleted that tweet. But listen to this. I hate when it does that. Give me 1 second.
Just assume by that what was written on that shell casing that that's necessarily his motivation. He could have been doing that to thinking it was funny, trying to put law enforcement on the wrong track. This is where when you analyze the person's phone, computer, talk to his family and friends, that you get an idea of what his motivation perhaps really was. You can't just assume by that what was.
Can't assume, guys. Can't assume from his picture on Facebook, from his post, from his registration, political registration. Can't assume anything. Speaking of assuming, again, what pushes this? What encourages this type of violence. And I've said it, we said it, Trump said it. If you really feel that these people, you've been told by mainstream media that these are Nazis, these people are kidnapping people off the streets, I think it's your duty to do something, right? I think if there was a government doing if Joe Biden was kidnapping people off the streets and taking them away from their families, and he did that through J6 and through his weaponization of the FBI, but I mean similar to what they're comparing it to, I think patriots would have stood up. I think we would have had a civil war. But that's not what's happening here. They are following the law. People entered the country illegally. They don't belong here, and they're getting sent home. It's that simple. So check this out right here. Remember, Ilhan Omar, the one that married her brother, said this is vile and beyond cruel. Abolish ICE. And she was referring to a fake news report that has now been removed. It says ICE agents held a 5-year-old autistic girl outside her Massachusetts home to pressure her father to surrender to authorities last week. Now, we know that's not what happened. The father was pulled over, ran out of the car, left that 5-year-old autistic girl in the car, and police came and rescued her. So this is the type of things. Ilhan, let's see if we can pull this up. This is what it looks like now. Omar has now, this post was deleted by the post author. Probably, again, pushing out rhetoric, pushing out lies, trying to incite these leftists that we already know are very violent. We watched through the Summer of Love 2020. We've watched multiple times. We've watched different protests, different riots. We've watched Oregon. We've watched Seattle. We've watched parts of California. And again, that's why Trump is going to be signing an executive order to dismantle these organizations that are causing so much violence. Just disgusting. Geraldo Rivera came out. I love this one. Poor Geraldo. You don't even hear about the guy anymore. The suspect shooter is a 29-year-old Joshua John, not politically active, according to Brother Noah. This is what they want to get out there. I mean, he's getting eviscerated on X. I mean, I don't think they know that these posts actually work against them because people put the facts right under there. Look at this one. I like this one right here. This was a meme that was posted underneath that post. It says, no clear motive starter pack. And it has the SRIs, the gun with writings on it, the trans flag with a gun on it, someone protesting that says Black Trans Lives Matter, Be Gay, Hell Satan patch. I mean, that is, I would have to agree, that's the no clear motive starter pack. He's getting destroyed. And so, again, we talk about the people that are paid by the DNC, or they at least get their talking points. They get funding from left-wing radical organizations to post online. I wish we could get some right-wing, like the GOP or one of the Heritage Foundation, to say, hey, Josh, we're going to pay you to post. I wouldn't pay them. I wouldn't post what they wanted me to post. I would post what I do now, but that would be nice, right? So let's see what the talking point was today and the information that they wanted to get out. You can look at all these posts right here. Aaron Rupert, this is the fishiest thing I've ever seen. We're supposed to believe the shooter wrote anti-ICE in pen on a bullet and then shot detainees, but not ICE officers. How about this one? Jojo, anyone else find it odd that Kash Patel's FBI wanted to make sure that everyone knew as clearly as possible that one of the bullets had anti-ICE written on it? Yeah, it's kind of important to the public, retard. How about this one? Ed Krasenstein. Who writes anti-ICE on a bullet just before shooting 3 immigrants being detained by ICE? And as we know, he just shot off. He didn't aim at immigrants, and there were illegal aliens. And we pray for them and their family. I think there's still 1 or 2 recovering. 2 have passed away. Pray for their families, folks. That nobody should have to be shot because they're being processed by ICE, and some radical leftist decides to take matters into his own hand. Danny K. Politics also got the memo. He says MAGA claimed ICE agents were shot. Why were detainees killed if there was an anti-ICE written on the bullet casing? As you can see, all these same people that post the same rhetoric and the lies, the same people put the same stuff, that Charlie Kirk's assassin was MAGA, all these different things. This was their talking point for the day. Find it interesting, don't y'all? Now, there was some other information that did come on the shooter's car. There was this right here. It was a map. And on the bottom of this map, radioactive fallout from nuclear clouds passed over these areas more than 2 times since 1951. So he was probably also part of that climate cult group, right? Again, I'm sure we're gonna know more very soon. If you missed the first live stream, go back and check it out. We covered his mom. His sister has multiple pro-alphabet community, multiple arrests year after year. Mom was I think part of it used to be on the teachers union, as well as all the radical groups that lie and try to destroy Trump. That's who she was following on Facebook. So when we get more updates, we will get more updates and bring them to you this week for sure. So Antifa, labeled as a domestic terrorist organization. Not too long ago, you had Rep. Dan Goldman coming out defending him. You had all kind of Democrats. Trump is trying to silence his opposition. Originally, they said Antifa didn't exist. Now they're saying Trump's trying to silence his opposition. Well, if there's no Antifa, you don't have nothing to worry about. But how about this? The Antifa insurgents surrounded the federal building in Eugene, Oregon last night, blocking ICE. The domestic terrorist group was pounding on doors and windows, forcing employees to use alternative exits. I want to show you 2 videos here. We did get some arrests out of the deal. Take a look at this video here. This is from Katie Daviscourt and the Post Millennial.
Fucking be here with your fucking iPhone.
How are you gonna lie here? This isn't Portland. How do you feel about that?
We got one from the tank division. Another one, a junior tanker. Intimidating journalist. The real fascist right there, guys. And I think we're finally going to see these people arrested and charged. We did see some arrests last night from what I hear. There's probably going to be federal charges coming as well. Check out Katie Daviscourt. Also posted this. Breaking: federal police officers make several arrests outside the federal building in Eugene, Oregon. Antifa terrorists and far-left extremists have been attempting to siege the building. I love hearing you scream. him. I love it. I love it.
Anything wrong here.
Again, we've been covering some stuff even at night. We'll cover some of the live streams going on outside the ICE facility in Portland, Oregon, where even neighbors have become awfully famous for standing up to these terrorist group and recording them from their balconies, filing lawsuits against the city for their police not doing anything and just allowing them to terrorize the neighborhood. And so I just love this. I think we're going to see a come to Jesus moment. And again, they've been terrorizing the community. We covered Chaz. We covered all this stuff. We've been to Portland a few times. We've seen the violence firsthand. We've seen it here in California. I will say this, and this is my own opinion. At one point, I'm going to say we are not dealing with the same group we were dealing with in 2015, 2016. We've seen some violence in Berkeley. I mean, these people came up. They didn't care. They were hitting people. Remember the bike lock Antifa guy that was a professor at the school? I think he was a professor, maybe not at Berkeley, but somewhere else. 4chan actually hacked his Amazon account and found the fact that he bought the bike locks because he was wearing all black block and he was saying it wasn't him, and went through it was epic. But now what I'm noticing is they would have some people. How do I word this where it's understanding for myself? A lot of the times when we run into them now, you're like laughing. There was some groups that we would laugh at the entire time. I mean, if you guys remember, I found the video. I'll have to share on X. But when we chased Antifa out of Lodi, they were with Black Lives Matter, and we marched them down the street. That was when Jason was with me. They felt we had some great, proud patriots with us that day. And I think we're coming back to a spot where there's some things going on. And I wonder if they're going to surge back up. Because, again, we haven't seen them. We've seen them. It seems like Transtifa comes out more than anything else. All they care about is trans issues. When we go to the state capitol now, we've been there for a few rallies. Don't see a whole lot of movement. The last one I can remember was the detransition rally when Chloe, that's when Antifa came, both Highway Patrol and the Sacramento PD watched Transtifa hit people over the head with bars. Now, I haven't been able to get any information. They actually got a hold of me. That was when my sister pulled out the gun when we were robbed. It was a strong arm robbery. They took my tripod, battery, and camera. And they called me later that day and said, hey, you have some of these attacks on. We did arrest one person. And I was like, well, there's multiple people doing this. And they said, well, we got one. And we want to use your video to prosecute. And I've called back numerous times and left voicemails to find out whatever happened. And they don't return my call. But I did say, yes, use my video. Use my name. Use my address. I don't care. Prosecute these fools. This was interesting. We have seen some prosecutions of Antifa. There was another one that was prosecuted, and Andy No shared this out. Andy No's probably been the person that has reported on Antifa the most. Being from Portland, had to flee Portland because of all the violence. He was chased around. He couldn't be out in public because of this violent terrorist organization. This one says, an Oakland Antifa trans non-binary militant who operated in an extremist anarcho-communist Antifa's ideology blog has been sentenced to more than 19 years in prison for 6 domestic terrorist attacks. It is the longest sentence ever for an Antifa militant to date. Casey Robert Goonan who goes by the pronouns they, them, who has a PhD in Black Studies, pleaded guilty to using a homemade explosive device in June 2024 to destroy a UCPD Cal police vehicle on campus and to attempt to firebomb the Ronald V. Dullums Federal Building and U.S. Courthouse in Oakland. He also admitted to carrying out 3 arsons attacks at the UC Berkeley campus. Goonan admitted he was inspired by the Hamas direct action terror attack of October 7th and that he had hoped his violence would inspire others to carry out further attacks for Palestine. Antifa, this one says, Antifa and far-left militants are calling him a political prisoner and demanding his immediate release. The mainstream reporting is not writing about his anarcho-communist violent extremism, and it's making it sound like he merely did vandalism on a car. And this is some of the stuff. Free Casey now. These people are just insane. You need to find out who's behind asking to be him freed, because I'm sure there's some skeletons in those closets we can investigate. But I think we're going to be seeing this more and more often, guys. I do. We've seen the federal arrest in the anti-ICE protest in Los Angeles when LAPD and Mayor Karen Bass wouldn't do anything to protect the citizens. We did see DHS, our federal law enforcement partners, arrest people, identify people, and let's hope that they get tried and they get some time. I haven't followed up. I'm going to have to follow up on the guy that was throwing bricks through Border Patrol. Remember there was, I think originally it was $50,000 reward for him. We covered it live. We were on that live video that day while those ICE protests were coming on, if you remember. How about this? We got some good news. Hopefully good news. James Comey looks like he's going to be seeing an indictment soon, according to MSNBC and other sources. He lied under oath, which we know is proven. MSNBC and CNN says, oh, this is political retribution. They know he lied under oath, saying that the FBI didn't spy on Trump's campaign. Remember that? That was under oath. There was also other lies, but listen to this.
Do you stand by your House testimony on March 20th that there was no surveillance of the Trump campaign that you're aware of?
Correct.
You would know about it if they were, is that correct?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
Well, once we found out, there was a lot of surveillance and a lot of spying on the Trump campaign. I want you to listen to a few of these. Resources
I just familiar.
Funny. And then we also got some news. It sounds like Letitia James as well will be indicted. Let's find out what happens, though. Take a look at this.
Tell MSNBC former FBI Director James Comey is expected to be indicted in the coming days. The full extent of the charges being prepared against Comey is unclear. Joining us now, MSNBC Justice and Ken Delanian and MSNBC Senior Investigative Correspondent Carol Lenig, Chris O'Leary, Ashley Parker still with us. Carol, help us understand the reporting.
So, Katie, we have some sources who say that for several weeks now, the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Eastern District of Virginia, and actually in offices that are potentially much further south than Alexandria, have been eyeing ways to indict Comey, and they are getting very much closer. The statute of limits, rephrase, they are arguing that Comey, there is evidence to suggest Comey lied to Congress in his testimony on the Hill in September of 2020. And for viewers out in the audience who may not be legally as nerdy as me and Ken, I'll just say that there's a statute of limitations to charge people with the crime of lying to Congress or perjury, and that's 5 years. The 5-year statute runs this month.
So what exactly is he accused of lying about, Ken?
Well, there was an...
Now, we're going to play some more video from Lying Legacy Media. We found out it was admitted, but Comey lied. There's a lot Comey did. If you don't know who Comey is, he was also the one that just happens to walk down the beach and seeing rocks or seashells. I'm sorry. These people are just ignorant. With the numbers 8647, which was going very viral, that's an assassination call for President Trump. 86 the 47th president. It's used in a lot of these extremist left-wing rallies, the No Kings rally, which again, let's look and check and investigate who's funding some of those, because we know that's coming from far left groups that are trying to destroy this country. Listen to this one here. I think this is also a segment of what we were just watching. It might duplicate some
of lying about, Ken.
Yeah.
Well, there was an exchange. There was a seminal hearing back in September of 2020 where congressional Republicans grilled him in the Senate about the Crossfire Hurricane investigation, the FBI Trump-Russia investigation. And remember, there were some issues around FBI mistakes, and the Republicans were accusing him of all sorts of misdeeds and of relying on that dossier. But in one exchange with Senator Ted Cruz, he was asked about a previous question that had been put to him back in 2017 by Senator Grassley about whether he had ever authorized the leak of information.
See, there's multiple things he lied about. He lied about Trump being spied upon. Listen to this.
About the Trump administration or the Clinton administration and Hillary Clinton. And he said that he had not. He repeated his answer back in 2017. The Republicans were suggesting at the time, and we believe at least one theory of this is now, that was a lie. Of course, Comey insists it wasn't a lie.
Well, you're the news. You're the news. Are you going to cover for
that
him?
That Comey, in fact, had authorized somehow a leak of information. And what Ted Cruz cited during the hearing was a leak by then Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe to the Wall Street Journal about an FBI investigation into the Clinton Foundation. Now, what's important to know about that is...
See, there's a lot of stuff. That's why Trump put out that tweet to Pam Bondi, or that Truth Social post like, hey, time's running out. Why aren't these people that broke the law, that violated that? I mean, this is election interference as well.
There was a whole Inspector General report about Andrew McCabe's behavior and his leaks, and he was criticized in that report. But that report found that he was authorized on his own as the deputy director to talk to the media, and that he did so without explicit authorization from Comey. So on its...
They're trying to do everything they can. I have a feeling this is I'm hoping this goes good. Of course, MSNBC was melting down because MAGA is absolutely excited about this. Like we hear nobody is above the law. We always say Democrats will never be held accountable. And now there's a little slight possibility that one of these traitors to America is going to be actually be handled. Go through the process and listen to MSNBC. This is amazing. I love this.
What the allegations are.
So we're seeing reaction online. There's reaction from one MAGA account with 1.3 million followers saying this is exactly what I voted for. Also, dear James Comey, retribution is coming, TikTok. And then they post sincerely 77 plus million MAGA patriots. How is this different, the way that Donald Trump has influenced or set up his Department of Justice this time around, Carol, compared to the last term?
I would have to...
You know, I'm so glad you asked, because I find it absolutely riveting to watch the allegations are.
So we're seeing reaction online.
Last time around, we had, just to be honest with you, a crappy administration. Trump took advice from people he thought he could trust. He had a weak attorney general. He had weak people around him. And there was leaks all over that White House, if you remember, until they got rid of, what was it, Rance Priebus? There was swamp. The swamp he was trying to drain was in his administration, and he just didn't know it. He learned a lot. He thought there was people he could trust. He got advice. He listened to people probably like Lindsey Graham and Mitch McConnell, who are all part of that swamp. And this time it's going to be much different. He demands accountability for what he has been put through, the unconstitutional things that happened to him, the spying on his campaign, the election interference. And now maybe we'll see something. Maybe we'll see something. I think there was one more. Maybe this is in the wrong spot. No, there was another one. I don't know where it popped up, but it looks like also Letitia J.